everybody, Mike Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer Hobby Supply. Today we're going to do the ACTRR Update 26. Not a whole lot, as usual, but a lot of time-consuming stuff. So I'll show you what I've been doing, and let's get into this. Okay, everybody. A lot of the things that are going to take place on the video today are like invisible stuff. But I think I covered this in 25, but here's where the sanding facility and the little fueling facility are going to go. I put together some Osborne models, derelict rail pile sitting there. I haven't mounted it down in yet, it's kind of sitting a little high. I did put some details, I don't know if these were in 25 either, and some trees around the roundhouse. Another thing I wanted to tell you about is I had a couple of guys ask me about this being so short, this siding, and because it's on the turntable type track, I could not put a bumper on there. So what I did is I just took the top of a regular bumper, used that piece of bumper, laid it over that track, used it as a template, and drilled down through it so I got the holes in the correct place and just put the bumper on that piece of track. And I think it turned out well. The track is short and may be able to hold a switcher, but I think the idea for me was to put some trucks over there, some rebuilt trucks. That would be a rebuilt truck storage area there, maybe a maintenance away piece of equipment or something. I don't know yet. But anyway, that's pretty much it. I did get the deadfall in. And I think maybe I covered that in 25. But I did get the deadfall in around, down in the bottom, down in here. It kind of dresses up the mountain area. Now I'm going to show you a couple things that Gavin and I discovered when we were doing some switching out here. Okay, here's our yard configuration. When we were down here switching and we were bringing trains in and out, it didn't take us too long to figure out that if we have an incoming train, it needs to come in on a track, and then it needs to be able to escape the locomotive and run around to the other end if need be. So, what I have done is I have put another turnout in here, and we have a siding that goes down and connects in here. And as well as that, this turnout right here was right here. In fact, you can see where the wire went down through. But it used to be right here. And that is on the branch line. And I thought, why would you put a yard track on the branch line? So we quickly discovered that we wanted to move that. So that turnout was taken out here, moved over here, and does the same thing it was doing before, which took us into here. But I did put this turnout in here, which gave us this runaround on the outside of the yard here. We think that'll be handy, and it does vacate any kind of yard turnouts off of the branch line going on down that way. So, that being said, of course, you put in new turnouts, and that leads to something else. That leads to putting in more of these guys. So I had to run to Lowe's, get more caps. But as you can see, I have them hooked up. There is, I'll try and slow down a little bit here. There is one here as well, which is the closer of the two turnouts. And this one was already there for the branch line. So you can see that I've added one here. And another thing that everybody noticed in the video, Gavin and I didn't have any other troubles out here on the main line. What we did discuss is possibly putting another turnout up here at the mine and running a second track up there at the mine so we can have empties and incoming up there. That's yet to be seen, and if I do that, I will put another DS64 in, and we will run that turnout up there off the branch, off the main line. Sorry. But that's yet to be seen. It's more than likely going to happen. Aside from that, let me show you what else we figured out. Okay, so everybody in the switching video saw Gavin and I tripping over each other and dodging all these cords. On the layout before, and even on this layout, if I'm out here running by myself, it's really not too big of a deal. However, this Empire Builder is a radio unit, okay? It's duplex radio. So I do have radio throttles to answer everybody's question. But let me go down here. These two bags, and you've seen them before, these two bags are Gavin and I's go bags to go out to the club. In the red bag are the two wireless throttles because we use them out at the club. We were just too lazy to dig them out, and we already had the corded throttles out here. So I hope that explains why we were using corded throttles and everybody yelling at me about having wireless. So the answer is I do have wireless. In regards to that, I'll tell you something else and show you something else I have done. Okay, I think in the last video I told you I had added this DS64, and I had 3 slots, actually 2 slots left in there on that particular DS64, so I thought why not use them. So the 2 new turnouts are connected to these 2 positions right here on that DS64. So now basically I'm out of slots in DS64s. However, I have more of them. If I need to add some, I can add some. Not a big deal. Another thing you might notice is when, well, you won't notice it, but let me tell you, when I was at the N-Scale convention, the guys there let me run on their layout, and they had a Wi-Fi throttle. I told him, and I had forgotten to take a throttle, and I said, I'll have to borrow a throttle. He says, well, do you have a smartphone? Well, I had just gotten my smartphone, and I said, yes, but I'm awful stupid. I don't know how to use the smartphone. Very well. And he said, well, that's okay, because it's extremely simple to do. All you have to do is download the app, and we'll connect you to our Wi-Fi throttle. So I did. I ran all day long, and everything ran like a champ. It was really easy to use on the phone, and so I added this guy, an LNWI by Digitrax. Very simple installation. You put 2 screws to hold it up here. You connect it to the LocoNet, and you plug in a PS14, and it's off and running. And that's really all there is to it. Let me show you how you go about attaching your phone to that thing. Okay, my phone happens to be a Android phone. It works with an iPhone or an Android phone. And the first thing you need to do is get to your settings on the phone, your Wi-Fi settings. And it's because I have connected to this system in here before, or my LNW1, whatever the hell that thing is. It's already detected it, and I'm already connected to it. And it says the signal strength is good. The link is 54 megabits. It's running on 2.4 gig. And that's all you need to do. You could, when you walk away, it automatically disconnects, okay? Now let me back out, if I am smart enough to do so. And if I go here, you have to download some type of Wi-Fi throttle app. I chose Engine Driver. And you can see that it comes right up once you're connected. This is what the throttle looks like. Okay. What you do is you just basically hit select. The address goes in here. And I don't know what I've got out there, but we're just going to go 7985. I don't know what that number is, but nevertheless, then we hit acquire. And you can see that 7985 is now selected. It's in forward state. The throttle is at 0, which is the little blue dot there. We have all the buttons up to 28 functions to use. If you want to consist, add to the consist, you simply tap that and it asks you what locomotive you're entering now. You add that in the proper direction and you're off and running. You basically have forward, reverse, stop, your light, your bell, your horn, all that manure. And what I thought was really nice was I can change the throttle setting by the buttons on the side of the phone. So I don't have to swipe the screen. I don't have to worry about my finger getting too close to the edge and not shutting it all the way off. So basically throttle up, and you can see the value changing, and throttle down. Extremely simple to use. It takes a little bit of getting used to walk your phone around, but you have all the functions you need here. I like it. I will probably use it out here more than I will use the Digitrex throttles, simply because they eat batteries like crazy. I can just take my phone in and recharge it when I need. So, that being said, I really like this thing. I like the unit itself, and I hope this helps you out in making some kind of decision to do this if you have a phone and you want to use your phone. It also would save you the cost of buying a throttle. I think that little unit down there is $55, $59, something like that. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what it is. But extremely simple to hook up, extremely simple to use on your phone. And really, that's about the extent of it. Okay, I know I've been down here already and you guys listened to a bunch of poop from me, but if you'll notice, I've cleaned up all the wiring as well. I use Velcro strapping to strap all these wires. You can see down through there, and you can see here. Let me move this light so we don't have the light shining right in our face. Another thing I have done is I had one of these Symphony 77 sound units from MRC. They're not available anymore, but I put a throttle pocket in here on the side of the shelf unit. That way somebody can grab this, pull it out, and play sounds. I don't have the speaker hooked up yet. I've shortened up the cord, obviously, way up so people can't walk all around the room with it. It only has that much cable, but that's all I wanted people to have. I have two of them. I have this one that does locomotive sounds, and I have one on the other side of the room that does farm sounds. Some of you may have one of these, some may not. Some may not be able to ever get one. But I had it here, so there it is hooked up. And I plan on, I have a speaker, let me go over here. I have that speaker laying on the floor that I've been falling over for, I don't know, months. And I'm going to mount that underneath the layout somewhere and attach it into this Symphony sound. But as you can see, all the wiring is cleaned up. I wanted to show you that under here. Now let's take a look at one other thing. Okay, I had discussed with some of you guys, there were several that got back to me, and I think I had mentioned in the other videos that I was having trouble with the Woodland Scenics pen coloring rail. And let me zoom in here. You can see that I have the rail now colored. And let me back out. The Woodland Scenics pen, and let me just scoot over here a little bit. The Woodland Scenics pen is acrylic, and the paint just did not stick to the sides of the rail. So in response, some guys contacted me through Facebook and so forth, and this thing is, I knew they made these things, but I was stupid. But the answer is these CreateFX Testers paint pens. I do not know if the paint mixture is the same as the old Flow Quill pens. These are enamel based, but what I can tell you is they work exactly like the Flow Quill pens did as far as coverage and being able to paint on the rail. It works extremely well. 2 coats, you know, just run down the rail for 5 feet, 6 feet, do the inside rail, 5, 6 feet, come back, do 1 more coat, and you're good to go. And this particular number has the rail colors in it, and it is, let me try and get it in focus, 73801. Now, we show these on our website, but we don't have them yet. Why? Because Stingy Pfeiffer sold the only 2 that we got in so that I could work on my layout. However, I'm assuming that we are going to be getting them, and I'm assuming that the distributor was just out of them. We do have, I think, the concrete colored one, and then there's one other weathering pen set, and we don't have it either. But rest assured that we are doing everything in our power to get these in stock. They're on the site, but the concrete, the one with the concrete colors and stuff, I think is the one that we do have. The other 2 will show out of stock. But I just wanted to pass that on to you guys. It was passed on to me by some of my viewers, and I just thought I'd move it on and share it with you guys too, because I was just having heck with the Woodland Scenics pens. So that being said, that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've been doing the electrical work, and this afternoon I went and painted all this rail. All the rail, all the way down. All the mainline rail down to here. I didn't paint this loop because I had a train sitting in it, but I plan on finishing this loop down here up today, painting the rail. The branch line track I'm not going to worry about right now because I'm considering doing the branch line track in the rail brown instead of the rust. By the way, the color that you see up here is rust. By the time I blacken the ballast and the track itself with a black wash, it'll darken that up some anyway. But I was thinking of using a different color down here on rail that's less heavily used. And there's no rush on this because I can reach all of this. So, I guess that being said, that's really about all I have for you guys today. I can't think of anything else off the top of my pea brain. I have a lot of plastering work to do around that trestle, obviously. I don't remember if I had these hills colored. These hills right here in the foreground are ready to have ground cover and stuff put on them. That up there is not. I have to put top coat plaster on everything down that way that you see that's white. So that's going to be a while. You know, I got so many tasks, I just don't know what to do next. You know, I come out here and I just do what strikes my fancy. But I do need to get done painting the rail while the pens are still good. I hate to let the pen sit for a while and let the brush on the pen get all stiff and hard. We haven't figured out, our distributor doesn't know anything about the replacement tips for those Create FX markers yet, but I know they make them. I'm going to see if they can get them. The chisel blade is the one that comes in it. It's the one that works real well for going along the sides of the rail. But anyway, we're going to try and get that stuff as we can. And I guess, guys, that's about all I can tell you today. Nothing else pops into my head. So I guess that's it. Okay, everybody. Hope you enjoyed Update 26. And as usual,